How's it going, everybody? I hope you're all having a wonderful day, and I wanted to give my thoughts on Creature Commandos, the first project of the new James Gunn DCU. I know he says a lot that Superman is really the beginning, which I absolutely can't wait for. Go watch my trailer reaction. But this was actually the first one. And basically, Creature Commandos is an animated 7-episode season about this team of monsters called the Creature Commandos, because the events from Peacemaker are still canon, where Waller, she's not allowed to use humans anymore for her Black Ops missions. But since they're monsters, they don't count under that law. So now, yeah, she's using monsters. Right off the bat, I have to say I loved the animation. I thought it looked really good. Especially, it really shines in the action sequences. That's when the animation really shows its strengths, is during the action. Like in the first episode, there's a fight between Rick Flag and Dr. Phosphorus, and it was really good, really entertaining. That's just from the first episode. Basically, the way this show is structured is that you have your main ongoing plot where the commandos have to go protect this princess in a different country from a threat from the witch Circe, which I believe she is a Wonder Woman villain. Which is the first connection to Wonder Woman in this universe. And then each episode, with the exception of episode 1, each episode features flashbacks to a certain character's origins, or at least shows a little bit of their backstory. This reminded me most of Guardians of the Galaxy 3. If you've seen the movie, you know that the movie has a lot of flashbacks in it. Gunn kind of used the same kind of writing tactic for this show, which I think it worked, because this is a pretty big roster of characters, and each episode's only about 25 minutes, give or take. So yeah, I think it worked, giving at least half of each episode time for flashbacks. I have to say, the entire voice cast was amazing. I was a little concerned because it was all celebrity voice actors, and sometimes it definitely shows that. But I think each actor clocked in for work, and from what I understand, all these voice actors, they will play the live-action versions of these characters should they appear in live-action movies or shows, which is really cool. I do know there is going to be a season 2 of the show, which I am excited about, because like I said, I really like season 1. I'm going to get into spoilers now. I'm not going to, it's not going to be a play-by-play of everything that happens in the show. It's not going to be another Arcane or Penguin video where I go on for almost 20 minutes. I just want to talk about certain things. So you haven't seen the show yet. The short version is, I really liked it and I really recommend it. Go watch it. But those who don't care about spoilers have already seen it. Let's talk. So after the 4th episode, I think, Circe shows Amanda Waller a vision of the future where the princess, she's actually either working with Gorilla Grodd or at least under his control, and she takes over the world and see like dead bodies of like the Justice League, Superman, Batman, the Peacemaker, Vigilante, all these other characters, all dead because of this princess. So the narrative comes from, we gotta protect her, to we have to kill her. And then so this sparks Rick Flag Rick Flag Sr., because you've seen the Suicide Squad, you know what happens to Rick Flag Jr. So Rick Flag Sr. investigates to find out if Circe was really telling the truth or not. He ends up teaming up with Eric Frankenstein, who I don't usually say I hate characters, but I really hated Frankenstein. Not because I think he's a bad character, it's because I think he's genuinely just a really unlikable character. But that's kind of what they're going for. Basically, he's a massive simp for Frankenstein's bride, or the bride as they call her in the show. Who she was a really good standout character. She's also probably the main character overall too. But yeah, Frankenstein, the whole thing is just he's a massive simp and doesn't understand that she doesn't want him, that kind of stuff. He ends up teaming with Rick Flag. They go and find out that the doctor who confirmed Circe's story is actually Clayface, which is a really nice twist. And they did announce there was going to be a Clayface movie, which I am very interested in, especially since they got Mike Flanagan, I think is his name, to write it, and he does a lot of horror stuff. And it's described as like their version of The Fly, which I don't know about you guys, for me that sounds really awesome. And it's about time we got a proper horror superhero movie, because every time they've kind of tried it, it hasn't worked. Like the New Mutants was boring as shit, no one remembers that movie. And then Fantastic Four, they reshot the whole thing, so the horror stuff is in like one scene, and then it's never brought up again. The 2015 movie. I'm looking forward to a proper horror superhero film, which I think the Swamp Thing movie is also going to be that too, which is also really exciting. And getting back to it, so they have this really good fight. Frankenstein defeats Clayface by like punching his fist into an electrical outlet, and he's brought to life by lightning. He's fine, but it makes Clayface like explode. I don't think he's actually dead. I think just he's out for a while. Because I don't think they would introduce his character with the plans of giving him a movie, just immediately kill him off in his introduction. I don't think that would happen. Yeah, so then Waller finds out, she tries to call off the attack, but it's too late. Because this is a show like Invincible, where when people die, they die. You know, there's actual stakes. It's not like, I don't know, like, some other comics where if somebody dies, they're brought back just a year later as an alternate reality version of them or something like that, or time travel or whatever shenanigans. Someone dies in this, they are dead. That's it. Like, G.I. Robot is killed in the 4th episode by Circe. Though he is brought back at the end of the show, he's the one I accept because he's a robot. They did preserve his head. So I guess it makes sense that he's still around. So he's the one who doesn't, but Nina, who's like the fish girl, she's straight up dead. The princess, she tries to kill the princess when she's taking a swim, and princess defends herself and kills Nina like just like that. And she's dead. That's it, she's gone. And it was a pretty shocking moment because Nina was like the most like kind character. The nicest, probably the easiest one for fans to get attached to, you know? But she's gone now. And then I like that's the reason the bride kills the princess, because Waller calls it off thinking that they got it wrong, but at the end the bride goes into the princess's like office or whatever, and she pieces things together. It's like I saw you on the tape with Clayface, because that's something that set up earlier in the episode was Dr. Phosphorus is like, what the hell is that? And they see a screenshot of the princess was some kind of monster. I wasn't sure who it was at first, but then they revealed later it was Clayface, which makes sense. You know, he wasn't just a cameo, he actually had a part in the story. And then yeah, she pieces together. It's like, I think you paid off Clayface to confirm Circe's story about you. You know, and like you are actually a threat, like all that kind of stuff. But she's like, but I'm not going to kill you to save the world. I'm killing you because you killed my friend. You know, it's simple, it's black and white, it's revenge, which I really like. And she takes out her suppressed gun, bam, shoots her right in the head, tells Phosphorus and Weasel, hey, we gotta go, and boom, they take off. A couple more things I want to talk to before I get into like the very ending. Weasel probably had the most tragic backstory, because we don't actually find out where Weasel comes from. We basically just see the thing that was set up in the Suicide Squad where they mentioned he killed kids, which was just kind of a passing line and kind of a joke, kind of not. But we actually find out what happens. So he comes across the schoolyard, and these kids, they start playing with them, they feed them, like that kind of stuff. They find out the back of the school's open, you know, kids do what kids do, they want to go inside, you know. Because if you've ever been in your school when no one's around, it's a different experience, because you're so used to being around all these people. But when there's no one around, it has this really eerie feeling, so like the kids want to go inside and play and stuff like that. This other random guy, he sees Weasel with these kids, and he assumes Weasel is the danger. Which I don't even blame him for thinking that, because, you know, from where he's sitting, like, he's seeing Weasel constantly jumping on them and stuff like that, you know? So he goes in there with a gun, and he tries to shoot Weasel. He ends up shooting a gas canister or something like that. The building explodes, most of the kids die. Weasel's trying to get this one girl out, this with the blonde-haired girl. But then the cops, all they see is some kind of creature carrying a kid, and they immediately try to open fire on him. And eventually, they haul him off, and the girl ends up dying in the fire, and Weasel's, like, screaming, like, trying to reach out for her, and it hits, man. Like, it's really dark, it's really sad, but it hits, man. Another really standout one for me was Dr. Phosphorus, where basically he was trying to find a cure for cancer through radiation, but he made a deal with these mobsters. I think one of them is actually from Batman the Animated Series. Blanca's name. I do remember he's voiced by Dutch Vanderlyn from Red Dead 2, though, which is really awesome. But they end up killing his family and framing him for it, and then they take his notes and they stick him in the machine to assuming that will kill him. But you know, as comic books go, it gives him superpowers. He comes back for revenge. He kills the mobster's whole family. He takes over his business. His montage where he's dancing and stuff. And then, like, he's in the club, and then all the lights go. He looks up, and there's a silhouette of Batman. You don't see much of the design, but it definitely looks a little bit bigger, more kind of like Frank Miller Dark Knight Returns. Which, if they're going for a bigger Batman, you know what, that works. It makes him look different from the Robert Pattinson one, which I think is something they're going to go for. So yeah, that's cool. But I think that little Batman cameo is a nice little bit of world building. So I was like, no, this is already a world where Batman already exists, you know? Gunn said the Superman movie's going to be similar, you know? We're kind of just jumping into it. Superman's already been around for a little while, you know? He's going to meet these other heroes, like our Gardner and Hawkgirl and whatnot, and they've also been around for a while. So I'd like that little bit of world building. Probably the most fucked up backstories for Frankenstein's, because it's not his, you know how Frankenstein's born, everyone knows that story. But it's what happens to him after he has his fight with the bride, because he kills the doctor after catching the doctor and the bride, like, having sex, like, because, you know, Frankenstein, he has serious, like, possession issues, like, she's mine, she belongs to me, she's literally named to be mine, that kind of thing. But, you know, he went into it expecting her to immediately love him. No, she was scared of him, he was too aggressive. That's why she fell in love with the doctor instead, because, you know, he respected her boundaries. He treated her like a human being, not just like something that belonged to someone, you know? And that's why they end up getting together. And for Frankenstein to see this, he gets jealous, so he kills the doctor. The bride kicks his ass, leaves him in the castle to burn to death. He ends up getting out, and he gets saved by a gypsy. She nurses him back to health. She's blind, so she's not like, she doesn't, judge him for his appearance. She's trying to teach him, there's ways of seeing beauty without seeing, that kind of thing. And then when he's gonna go leave, he kills her, because I guess he doesn't want her to be alone, so his logic is like, okay, I'll kill her then, so that way she won't die alone. It was just really fucked up and really dark, and Jesus Christ. When I finished watching that episode, I was like, as if I didn't already hate Frankenstein enough, I hate him even more now. That's what I'm talking about. Like, I really don't like his character because he's such a hateable character. Getting to the ending after the Killer Princess and they leave, Waller now signs the bride. She is now the leader of the Commandos, at least until Rick Flag recovers, I assume, because he gets really fucked up by Clayface, because, he's just a normal dude and Clayface is an actual, monster. Yeah, so she's in charge of the Commandos now. There's new members. There's King Shark, which is nice seeing him, which I know for a fact that was not Stallone voicing him. But it's someone doing a Stallone kind of impression. There's this Bat Lady we saw earlier. There's this mummy kind of dude, which I think I've seen before in the comics. I'm sure there's videos breaking down exactly who's in there. And basically, yeah, they're the new Commandos now. And we'll see more of the adventures in Season 2. So those are my thoughts on Creature Commandos. Overall, I really liked it. I'm excited for Season 2. I'm excited for more of this DC universe. Thank you so much for watching. What do you think of the show? Let me know in the comments below. And after seeing this, are you excited for the new DC universe? Are you still not impressed? Are you still waiting for, Superman or something like that, Yeah. What are your thoughts? Let me know. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day. I'll see you.